Okay guys, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about this particular case. This is the MSI Nighthawk, and I don't think it's a new case of any kind. Actually, I think it's been out for a little while. Um, but I just recently did a build in this case. You see it's on right now. The build is finished. I'm going to be delivering it to my friend who was the client. This is a kind of a surprise sort of thing. We didn't really plan it. I was actually intending to rebuild. Well, not rebuild. I was intending to fix his old HP computer he had, which is an AMD computer. Served him well since 2008, and it finally started to die. We were having a bunch of problems. We couldn't get to recognize the hard drive, all kind of things. And so what ended up happening is I said, okay, even if I do get this thing working by some miracle on high, there was no way I was going to be able to guarantee my work, and there was no way I could say that the computer was reliable. I said, you know what, I'll rebuild it. You don't have to pay me up front right now. I know this was his business computer. He has another computer as the media center, but this was his business computer with a lot of his important files that he could not get to now because the computer wouldn't even get into Windows without a blue screen. We couldn't get to set up a new Windows, even on a new hard drive, because the moment we got to installing, it would lose connection with the hard drive, and it would just give us problems and problems and problems. So I said, you know what, I'm going to rebuild this. That's it, and we'll just go from there. And I did. I rebuilt it. So now what you're looking at is in Intel i3 3220 3220 processor, and this is your basic processor. It's a dual core. It's good enough for the things he does. He doesn't game on the PC or anything like that. All he does is his schoolwork and his business work on it. So this is more than good enough for that. So put the i3 3220 in there. Drop the P8 B75M CSM Asus in there, and this is a great micro-atx board. You could literally build a gaming rig using this little bitty board. It only has one PCI Express slot, but for most cases, and when I say most, I mean literally a lot of cases, you don't really need more than one video card. Yeah, all truth be told, most people, such as myself, I put an extra video card in there more for the looks than I did for the performance boost, because the performance boost is it's there, but it's not so great as to warrant spending the extra money on a second card unless you're running maybe a mid-end card. Then I can see the reason behind it if you don't really want to spend $300-400 on a single video card. But if you did just spend $300 on a video card, $400 on a video card, then you really only need just that one card. You don't really need two. But that's just in defense of those who really love to use smaller applications. They love to use smaller motherboards. You can't really build a gaming rig. I just this one Asus board. But really what this is about is the case. The case, MSI Nighthawk, there's some things about this case, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about my experience with this MSI Nighthawk case. It wasn't good. Let's just go ahead and start you off just like that. It wasn't good at all. Let me shut down the rig, turn it around, and open it up, and we're going to talk about a few things here. Okay, before I open it up, let's start with the front of the case. And by front, let me just go ahead and pop this whole front end off. It's nice that it has SD card, which is one of the main reasons why I got it, for the low price, because we're on a budget here. That's why the reason I ended up with this case in the first place. So we're on a budget, and I needed one that had a good SD card reader, because he did use it. And the front ports are nice too. There's a nice bonus, I guess you can say, for this kind of a price range. I think it was only 60 or 70 dollars. Let's pop this off. Okay, first thing, um, I'm not going to talk about a bunch of features like that, because when you're talking about a case that's only 60, 70 bucks, you expect to be missing a few features. I did not know there was plastic on top of this, and it's gonna stay there too because I don't care. First off, the fan came in pre-installed uh, exhausting out the front. I had to flip this around. That was rather weird. Uh, Now on this fan area, these screws here, and let me see if I can just go ahead and zoom right on in quickly here. The screws on the fan, the the worst fan screws I have ever had the displeasure of using. Uh, they don't go in all the way. There's only a little bit of the screw that's actually a screw, to say the least, that you actually screw into the hole. The plate that it screws into is extremely cheap. I mean, even at this price range, there's no excuse for that. I mean, it's a fan. It's a fan port. All you need to do was create the 120 millimeter space around with proper screw holes and screw the darn thing in. That can't be that hard. I can't see a reason why I had to struggle so much with these stupid screws to get the fan in and out. It was ridiculous. And it was just the screw holes are so cheaply done that it just made absolutely no sense. It was a proper pain in the butt to do a simple thing as flip a fan around on this case, which is just unbelievable. Um, let's zoom out here, and we're going to go ahead and open up the case, and there's some other things I want to talk about briefly. So let's put this back on. There we go. Snaps into place. One thing I do like is that and one thing I do like that other cases just don't do enough of is having a front panel that can pop easily on and off without all kinds of cords and cables and all this other crap attached to it. They did not include the top piece that that has the power button in the actual front panel area. It's a separate piece that is a part of the actual top area here, and they kept it separate from the front panel, so when you pop it off, there's no wires and everything. You get just your drive bay area and your bottom area, and it pops cleanly off without having to deal with a bunch of wires. That's nice, and that was very welcome. I really hate that crap. I really hate having to deal with the down panel. When I pull it off, there's all kinds of cords from the power button, the USB, the audio, reset, all that, and it's a real pain in the butt. It really is no need for that. They can just make it a separate piece or something. Spinning around, you have a huge side fan that's on top here. Now don't let this bulge fool you. That's another strange thing. Don't let this bulge fool you, because most of the time when cases add these huge areas like this, it is not only serving as a place to put a big fan, it serves as an extended height area to get bigger coolers into the case. This does not work exactly that way. It literally is just a basic area to fit this bigger fan, or two 120 millimeters if you so desire. It does not help you fit an actual bigger cooler in there. I tried putting a Havoc 140 millimeter in this case. Yeah, no go. It's not possible. And I don't know how tall the Havoc is. Actually, if it says on the box I'm looking at here, and yeah, it's a 160 millimeter height, and yeah, nothing. This bulge here only serves as a purpose to put the fan on, which in that case you didn't really need that. You didn't need this huge ugly bulge if it wasn't going to help you actually put a bigger fan in there. And to make it worse, when you actually put the board inside, the fan area actually comes up above the bulge filter, the above the fan area. It comes up above the case fan area here. So it actually sits right about here. So only piece of it is actually in that area, and the other piece, guess what? It's hitting the side panel. Yeah, a major fail on that in that regard. Let's get it open here, and I can show you. I'll tell you right now, prepare your eyes if you're someone who is very anal, very particular about your cable management. Yeah, there is no cable management in this case, so yeah, prepare yourself. It's all here. We're just gonna set this over here for now. That's good enough. All right. So as you can see, let's zoom in here. There is quite the quite the display going on around here. Now it's kind of dark. I don't have proper lighting, so you can't see it as good. And I hope you can see it somewhat decent on the camera here. But even if you can't, allow me to shed some light on the situation. Now, I'm looking at it through my camera here. You have cables running. Let me zoom out a little bit. See, okay, you see that cable? See, zip tied the cables all around the board, and I had to make it this is as neat as I could possibly get it with the limited amount of area inside the case. There is no room whatsoever. There's no room whatsoever for like a H100 or any of those kind of coolers. That up top area there is no room up there at all. And to make it worse, the top fan area can only fit 20 millimeter fans. Now, how many of you actually have 20 millimeter fans hanging around your computer area? Because I tell you right now, I have none. And I actually don't. That's the last kind of size I would think. You usually have a 25 millimeter fan in your residence right now, most likely. This is the Aerocool Sharks that I was going to use in this build. But turns out, no. Because the top area is, not only is it not even a regular fan port area, it actually has little clips you can clip the fan into. You don't screw it in, which would have been better, by the way. Probably would have saved you money too. Just make regular fan holes to screw into. Why would you put clips? That's just ridiculous. And they have clips up top here to clip your fans into. So you just push them and pop them in place and be done with it. It seems nice and easy until you actually work with it, and then you find out that one, clips are not all that reliable. That's one. Two, it's a proper pain in the ass to work with these stupid clips. And I found out to my dismay after messing with it for so much that one of the reasons that it didn't clip into place was not only that one of the clips didn't grip too well. Two, it can't even take regular fans. It has these 20 millimeter fans. I believe there's 8 Loon fans that are 20 millimeters that will go in there rather nicely. They look ugly as sin, but seeing as they're hidden in this top chamber, no one's going to notice anyways. Once again, the fact that there's absolutely no cable management in here is just one of a few things. Let's go right here to the drive bed area. As you can see, this same design goes all the way down to the hard drives and into the CD drives. These clips, another thing that even when a low budget case, there's just no excuse for. They come out like so, and you can see it just fell apart in my hand. There you go, just fell apart in my hand right there, right as I was taking it out. This is one of the reasons why this sucks so hard. I mean, there's a difference between cutting corners and just going beyond ridiculous, and that's going beyond ridiculous. So they're not great. They do work for what they are. They do work, but it is not good, and you have to kind of fight with it a little bit to get it back in. There we go. There. And the cable management sucks. The the areas that have the fans sucks balls. Oh, and on top of that cable management, if I pan you back over, if I pan you back over here, you will notice with your eagle eye that, yeah, there's a whole lot of black. And let me add a flashlight just in case. Over here where you see these cables binding up, going up and down, you also notice that, guess what? There is no ports to route cables from the back to the front. None. And you may be wondering, why in the world would they do that? Well, it could be that this case was made back in 2011, I believe is when it was released. But back in 2011, they had those. Well, you don't need those kind of ports when you have pretty much no space behind your motherboard tray. There's no space behind that motherboard tray to route cables. None. Okay. If you manage to get something back there, you probably have a bulge in the back because you had to push like crap to actually get the back door on, because I can't see it. There was none back there whatsoever. Let me close up this side and flip it back there so I can show you what I'm talking about. That is the back area of the case. Hopefully this is focused in here. It looks that way on my screen, but I'm not sure. Okay, as you can obviously see, I ran the exhaust fan cable under the motherboard and out the back. That was the easiest way because there is no other way at all. There is no cable management holes. I can't even get my fingernail. I can barely get my fingernail into any grooves back there. That's how little space there is. They actually had the audacity to put cable tie hooks back here, all but not many of them, but they did put them back here. Like you can actually use them. You can't use them. What are you gonna do when there's that little space behind the motherboard tray? What the hell are you gonna cable tie up? The only thing I can see you cable tying is maybe some fan cables, little thin cables like this. You can use those for that. You can fit these back there. But if you're talking about what's right here, the power supply cables themselves, no, it's not going to work. That right there is the only place you have to stash those particular cables. That's it. You have to make all your cable management work with just this little open space. And, well, good luck to you. You probably can do a better job than me, of course. Definitely not the best at this in the world. I'm not like one of my other YouTube guys, Andre, who does an extremely awesome job at cable management. I'm not like him. I can't do that. This case here just baffled me. This is the best I can do. So I took all the excess cables, I bashed them up here, zip tied them so they can hold still. And on the other side, they actually have two cable mounts. These two cable mounts is for the other side, so you can route cables up and around. And I did that, route the cables up and around to keep the motherboard tray area free. And there's also plenty of space. The cables are not all over the place, so there's really good airflow, especially with that big fan on the side inside the case itself. So that is my whole gripes with this case. It's just some errors that were just absolutely ridiculous. With the case closed up and running, it's fine. I don't see a problem with the overall look, honestly, but the inside, the inside, the inside is atrocious. It's just, it is no excuse. It's ridiculous. So pretty much, I would recommend, well, from my experience, just stay the hell away from this damn thing. You know, if you have $70 alone to spend on the case, just look elsewhere. Honestly, just look elsewhere. If you really need a card reader, most cases don't come with a card reader. Buy a more decent case and buy a card reader separate. That is what I recommend. Because it wasn't worth it. It honestly wasn't worth the amount of hassle I went through putting these nice components in this damned case. This is a damn case. This ain't no regular case. All right, that's all I want to say. I'm out. Real quick, guys, I just wanted to show you guys quickly. I made a slight change in the patient's build. I finally did replace those lights, so I wanted to show you the difference between the cheap lights and the quality lights. So let's go ahead and check those out right here just quickly before you leave out of here. Thanks for watching. Check you guys later.